Alright, once again, Konami doing this again with revealing the artwork along with the card effect, but not the official card sample, in Rage of Abyss, with the cover card being a new Shark Drake, finally, which means we got new Shark support. So let's begin! So we start off with Surfacing Big Jaws, which is a level 4 fish with 1800 attack, 300 defense, and its effect is, if you use this card for Exceed Summon of a water monster, it can be treated as a level 3 or 5. Remember, Shark playstyle is a Exceed based playstyle of rank 3s to 5, so treating this as a different level is very helpful. But the next effects are hard once per turn. During the main phase, if a spell was activated this turn, you can special summon this card from your hand, but you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except for Exceeds. This is so you can still special summon your over 100 numbers, because technically Shark and Nash, so I'm glad this is not going to be restricted to just water monsters. But the third effect is that if this card is normal or special summon, you can add one fish shark monster from your deck to your hand. I already love this because this is a consistency searcher along with extension and basically helps you exceed plays. And funny enough, you could technically summon any of the berry numbers other than Tachyon in this deck. But overall, good new addition. Next, Drake Shark, which is a level 4 fish, 1400 attack, 1050 defense, again with the 50, and yes, this is a mini Shark Drake. But anyway, if this card is added to your hand except by drawing it, you can special summon it. A lot of cards can search this, so it's easy to special summon it. And if this card is used for Exceed Summon for a water monster that uses 3 or more materials, aka Shark Drake, you can treat this card as 2 materials. First time seeing a monster being treated as multiple materials for an Exceed Summon. That's pretty good, especially that you don't need an extra copy of itself. And these effects are hard once per turn. And finally, a Shark Drake Exceed monster that has this card as material gets this effect. Once per turn, you can detach 2 materials from this card, then target one spell or trap on the field, attach it to it as material. I mean, this archetype does have some continuous spells and traps, especially the Armor Exceeds, which you might use some for this deck, but not entirely too sure how much you're going to really use this effect. I mainly see this for the special summon and for the Exceed summon. Next, Armored Shark, which is level 3 fish water monster with 500 attack, 2000 defense. It is also treated as an Armor Exceed card, and each effect is hard once per turn. You can send one water Exceed monster from the extra deck to the graveyard, then target one fish monster in the graveyard whose level is equal to that sent monster's rank, special summon it. So this effect can do a few things. Not only that it can set up your plays, but that monster that you sent to the graveyard could actually be potential equip material, because some of the Armor Exceed monsters actually have effects when they're equipped rather than being summoned. So that itself isn't too bad. But the second effect is that during your opponent's turn, if this card is in the graveyard, quick effect, you can target one water Exceed monster you control, equip this card to it as an equipped spell, and give it 500 attack. So it can set up your play, and it could also become an armor monster. Not too bad. Now it's time to activate Rank Up Magic Barion's Force. By using Number Sanjuni as material, I rebuilt the overlay network. Rank Up Exceed Change. Behold, Carl's Number Sanjuni Shark Drake Leviathan, which is a rank 5 Sea Serpent Exceed monster with 3100 attack, 2600 defense. Finding it a little weird that it doesn't have 3200 attack and 2800 defense, since this should be paralleling the stats with Blackwing Dragon. So I would just assume that the new version of Shark Drake should have been like Assault Dragon, but whatever. Requires 4 level 5 monsters, but you're not going to do that. You're going to do it with the second effect, where you can also Exceed summon this card by discarding one spell along with using one rank 4 Shark Drake Exceed monster you control as material. Yes, it could be any spell to rank this card up rather than just use a rank up. But anyway, once per turn, quick effect, you can detach one material from this card, then target one effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effect, and if you do, change its attack and defense to 0. And it can make a second attack during each battle phase this turn. And if this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing damage to your opponent. And keep in mind, the effect is not hard once per turn. Overall, pretty good finisher, since this could literally just OTK your opponent in a way. 2 attacks on your opponent, one of them with 3100 damage, can do piercing damage too, so even defense position isn't safe. And the fact that you can use any Shark Drake along with a spell, that includes your Chaos form of Shark Drake that is still rank 4. Overall, I really like this new evolution of Shark Drake. And finally, after so long, we finally got the rank up Shark Drake that I've been wishing for. But I would say add some extra protection effect would have been nice too. But I do like the fact that it's a quick effect that can negate one of your opponent's monster effects. And now to a new Leviathan Dragon, Liviture Dragon, which is a rank 3 Sea Serpent Exceed monster with 2000 attack, 0 defense, requires 2 level 3 monsters, and if this card is special summon, you can add 1 Virtue Stream from your deck to your hand, which by the way is a new trap. And then its effect is, you can activate one of these listed effects. Detach 1 material from a monster you control, then add 1 fish, sea serpent, or aqua monster from your graveyard to your hand, except itself. Not too bad for recycling. And the second effect is that you can target 2 Exceed monsters on the field, detach 1 material from one of them, and attach it to the other. And you can only use each effect hard once per turn. So basically use a material from any monster you control on the field and basically just do stuff. Nice that you can do some recovery play, search out one of your new big trap cards, and the material transfer can be very helpful. But I'm not going to say that this is the most useful of the new shark monsters. And now to the new spells. First off, Surface Aqua Jet, which is a normal spell and you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower fish, sea serpent, or aqua monster from your hand or graveyard. If you do, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except for Exceeds, while you control that face-up special summon monster, which is fine because this is an Exceed based deck anyway. But if your opponent controls an attack position monster, you can banish this card from the graveyard, then target 1 fish, sea serpent, or aqua monster you control. It gets plus 1000 attack for the rest of the turn, and each effect is hard once per turn. Overall pretty good because this could basically set up your plays, do some recovery plays, get some attack boosts, which is also very helpful. Just overall a lot of use for this card. Next, Reincarnate Unveil Male, which is a equip spell. It looks like a sealed form of the new Chaos Shark Drake, but that's just assumption here. But anyway, the effect is that a Exceed monster equipped with this card gets this effect, cannot be destroyed by battle, and once per turn, if this card battled, quick effect, you can return 1 equipped card equipped to this card to your hand, then immediately after this card resolves, Exceed summon 1 water monster. I'm gonna assume the idea is that you're gonna be equipping this to one of your Exceed monster in its base form, like Shark Drake, and then basically do your Shark Drake attack, and then use this card's second section effect to return it back to hand and then perform a Chaos Exceed change because that's still an Exceed summon. I mean, after all, this is a sealed form, I have to assume, of the new Shark Drake. But the fact that you can also make your monster cannot be destroyed by battle is also very nice. Which we go to the second effect, where once per turn during the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you can equip this card to 1 Exceed monster you control. And reminder, this is still treated as an Armor Exceed card and you can only activate one of these per turn. Assuming that you can use the second section of its effect for the Chaos Exceed change, I have to assume that this is meant for Shark Drake to attack, and then you can bounce this back to hand so you can discard it for the new rank up Shark Drake, which at the end phase will trigger its own effect. But overall pretty decent even as a Armor Exceed target. And now for the new trap, Virtue Stream, which I have to also assume it's the attack name of the Leviathan Dragon. But anyway, the effect is that target 1 fish, sea serpent, or aqua monster you control, along with 2 cards your opponent controls, destroy them, and then you can banish this card from the graveyard, then target 1 face-up monster on the field. If it's a water monster, the next time that it would be destroyed by card effect this turn, it's not destroyed. Otherwise, the attribute becomes water if it's not the water monster. You can only use each effect as hard once per turn. Overall not too bad, especially since you can protect some of your monsters with the Armor Exceeds, while also giving some extra protection itself. And destroying your opponent's stuff is also nice. Finally, to the last normal trap, Exceed Poseidon Splash. If you control an Exceed monster that has an Exceed monster as material, aka your chaos numbers, declare 1 monster attribute on the field, destroy all other monsters on the field with that same attribute that are not equipped with an equipped spell, aka Poseidon's Wrath, that is going to destroy everything that is not protected with armor. But the second effect is that you can banish this card from the graveyard and detach 1 Exceed material from the field, special summon 1 fish, sea serpent, or aqua monster from your graveyard to either field. You can only use one of these effects once per turn. I have to say, not a bad card to just basically completely screw your opponent, even though it can basically say nuke everything. Because remember, you do not need to declare just water, just declare any attribute that you just want to destroy everything of. So that's it for the first cards of the new support for Rage of Abyss with the Shark support. What do you guys think of it? Overall, pretty cool, especially seeing the new Shark Drake. After all this time, we finally got the rank up Shark Drake that I've been wishing for, and I'm just happy to see it. Well, on that, that's it for this, and see y'all next time.